Last time, the people of Hills Valley uncovered something buried beneath the grass where their town once stood. It wasn't stone. It wasn't earth. It was metal. Smooth, cold, deliberate. And when Theo, the truck driver, forced it open with a crowbar, a hollow chamber revealed itself below. Inside, they didn't find rubble. They didn't find ruins. They found a box. But this was no ordinary box. What it held would challenge everything they thought they knew about themselves, their families, and their very memories. Cautiously, the townfolk lowered lanterns into the darkness. A metallic staircase led down into the chamber. Theo volunteered to go first. Mothers cried, begging him not to, but Theo stood tall. If we're going to survive this, someone has to lead the way. One by one, they descended. The chamber smelled of rust, dust, and something older, something ancient. At the center sat a box, small enough to be carried, but heavy with presence. Its sides were engraved with strange markings no one recognized. A silence fell. Everyone stayed, afraid to touch it. Finally, a little girl stepped forward, whispering, "Maybe this is where our town went." Together, 3 men lifted the box and set it on the chamber floor. The lid creaked open, dust spilling into the air. Inside lay photographs, stacks of letters, and a journal. At first, relief washed over the crowd. Proof of their past lives, something real, something familiar. But then, the details emerged. One photograph showed a birthday party. Balloons, candles, smiling faces. The problem? The mother staring at the picture swore it was a daughter's 10th birthday. But her daughter was only 8. Another man pulled out a wedding photo of himself. He was standing at the altar, hand in hand with a bride, but he'd never been married. A widow clutched the photo with shaking hands. It showed her husband, laughing, alive, holding their grandchildren. But her husband had died 3 years before the vanishing, and her grandchildren hadn't even been born yet. She collapsed to the ground, sobbing. Neighbors rushed to comfort her, wrapping their arms around her, whispering words of strength. All around the chamber, tears flowed. The photographs weren't just impossible. They were cruel. Families clung to one another, desperate to hold on to the truth of their lives. Children asked their parents, "Did this really happen? Were we there?" And parents had no answers. The letters were no better. One note described a town festival that no one remembered. Another was addressed to a family that no longer existed. And in the journal, strange entries appeared. They weren't written in a single hand, but many, different inks, different dates. Some pages described ordinary life in Hill Valley, but others described things no one could explain. The town reset again today. Cycle 5 complete. Cycle 6 begins. The handwriting matched one of the town's school teachers, but she swore she had never written it. Terror spread like fire. Were their memories stolen? Rewritten? Were their lives experiments? But once again, the people of Hills Valley leaned on one another. Mothers gathered children into circles, singing old lullabies to soothe them. Fathers promised their families they would protect them, no matter what truth they uncovered. Elderly residents prayed aloud, their voices shaking but steady, giving hope to those too scared to speak. One young boy whispered into the firelight that night, "Even if we don't remember yesterday, we have today, and we have each other." It was simple, but it became the words the town carried in their hearts. The box should have been the end of their nightmare, proof that Hills Valley still existed, even if in fragments. But then another sound echoed in the chamber. Not from the box, not from the townspeople. A metallic knock. 3 sharp raps, as though someone was knocking back from below. Gasps filled the room. Children screamed. Theo raised his lantern toward the dark floor of the chamber, and there, faintly etched into the metal beneath their feet, they saw words. "Do not open the second box." The people of Hills Valley froze in terror, because if this was the first box, what lay buried deeper still?